today. Back in the force, my last posting in the police force, in the Singapore police force, was to drive the force-wide implementation of a new technology to over 15,000 police officers. So I'm pretty familiar when it comes to like driving technology across a big group of people right now. And I'm also a certified human-centered design practitioner. And what this means is I attended courses to help me, figure out how to make any experience a lot more client-centric or a lot more human-centric. And I want to share with you guys how I designed this e-appointment structure such that it's super client-centric as well. Okay, I first exposed to Zoom in 2017. Back when I was consulting with Gojek, which was based in Jakarta, and that's when I first got exposed to the software. However, I only got onto my first Zoom call with my clients in December 2019, and since then I've like digitized my presentations and illustrations, and it has been really a massive productivity shift for me. So before I begin, right, I'd like to kind of like do a poll for you guys. I want to find out from you guys and what is the biggest challenges that you are facing that prevents you from getting onto a Zoom call, or if you have gotten onto Zoom e-appointments, what are the biggest challenges you face in your Zoom e-appointment? So yes, let's pull up the poll right now. And of course, as we are doing the poll, I would like to just share with you guys that, currently I'm averaging about like 5 e-appointments a week. I'm really, really close to my first MDRT. I have a 1-to-1 prospect to client ratio, which means that I don't lose out clients along the way. And yeah, this has really helped me increase my productivity by a lot. And I really want to share these tips with you guys. All right, so please do the poll so that I can like figure out, where I should like expand my presentation on. Okay, so let's see whether we can have the poll results out. All right, so about 13% of you are not familiar with technology. 36% do not know how to get clients to meet you. So I'll share, kind of like starter conversations later. 39% do not know what to present or how to structure e-appointments. I'll share that as well. 9% not comfortable with e-appointments, and hopefully this will help you get a lot more comfortable and confident. And 2% that you'll meet the client when the current situation is over. All right, okay, so now I'll go on to the rest of my presentation, and hopefully I can address all your concerns in this presentation. Please take notes. I've structured the presentation in such a way that it's really easy to remember. So first of all, like, why should we get on e-appointments other than the fact that we pretty much don't have a choice right now? Everybody's like, work from home. First thing is that, I realized that there's a huge productivity boost. Normally, when I have to factor in commuting time, I'm unable to pack in as many appointments in my day. I realized that, e-appointments really give me that huge productivity boost. It's also very focused, very purposeful, because, I don't have to have meals with my clients when I hop onto an e-appointment, a little bit small talk, and I go straight into business, right? It gives you a very resilient positioning. Interestingly, my clients have told me that, I love this e-appointment, you're very non-pushy. And I'm like, wow, really? Yeah. So I read up a little bit on this, and because of the, like the space that the client has around him or her, you're not physically right next to him or her, he actually feels this like psychological effect that you're giving him and respecting that space and that time, right? And this then gives you a less pushy image, and it really validates that professionalism, right? It's also really, really resilient in terms of like, it gives you a very resilient market positioning. So be it COVID or non-COVID, you can still carry on business as usual, right? The third reason is because that, previously prior to e-appointments, I found it really, really, really hard to set appointments during office hours because everybody's really busy, everybody's, in their jobs. And I could only meet people after office hours on weekends. Now that everybody's working from home, it gives me like so massive potential to meet people during weekdays, during office hours, right? Just hop onto a Zoom call, hop onto an e-appointment, and people can like set aside like 1 hour or 1.5 hours for that e-appointment. For the people in corporate, your clients who are working in businesses, they would also have sort of a familiarity with using like web conferences. So that has helped me a lot. I've also managed to redirect some of the expenses that I normally, treat my clients to meal, treat my clients to coffee, to buy like exercise equipment and send it over to their homes. So that is also a value add in that aspect. So to remember, why you should get on e-appointments, remember these three letters, PRU, that's PRU. So it gives you a productivity boost, resilient positioning, and you can utilize office hours. So next, how do I get started? And everybody, is having like a really difficult time thinking about this, right? Because people are saying that, clients are saying that, I don't know, I might want to wait till this like COVID period is over. Here are 5 conversation starters that you can get started with your clients. So first of all, you can talk about the COVID-19 coverage. So in Singapore, we have like complimentary COVID-19 coverage for existing clients, and can always ask them if they want to know more about this and hop onto a Zoom call with them. Next, ask about their loved ones. This is a time where we show the care, where we show the empathy. And what I do is that, I text my clients and ask them, like, how are your parents doing? How are your children doing? The last I remember, your parents or your siblings don't have a hospitalization plan. Can we hop onto a very quick Zoom call for me to explain this to them? And this is the way that I ask for my appointments, right? I also revisit plans put on hold. So, a lot of financial consultants are telling me, oh, it's really, can people really set aside money for savings right now? In fact, some of my clients are telling me that they are saving more. Why? Because work from home, lesser expenses. So as long as you're gainfully employed, you're still receiving a pay. A lot of my clients are actually realizing that they are spending a lot lesser, which gives them more capacity to start saving. So I also ask my clients to revisit their plans that were previously put on hold, right? I also ask for calls to explain their current portfolio. So this is my script for this. So I would say, for example, Benjamin, like we didn't manage to do a financial review in the last year. And, with this current COVID situation, I really, really want you to make sure that you know what you have covered and what you don't have covered. So, could we just hop onto a quick 1-hour Zoom call so that I can explain your current portfolio to you? Because I realize this is really important and I want you to have that knowledge as well. So that is the script to explain current portfolio, and you can use it too for your existing clients. And last but not least, give them savings and investments update. Your clients are anxious about how the investments are performing, and whether my endowment plans are doing well. So you can always, initiate a call and tell them that, I know that you're worried about this right now. Show the empathy again. I know that you're worried about this right now, and I want to make sure that I manage to assure you, can we hop onto a 1-hour Zoom call so that I can explain or update you regarding savings and investments. Okay, so please take notes. These are the 5 conversation starters you can get on your clients on e-appointments. So it's CARES, right? CARES. Okay, next, I would like to go through my e-appointment structure. Okay, this is what works for me. Make sure that you experiment and tweak it to what works for you. So Matt said earlier that we need to be nimble. It's okay to fail a little bit here and there, or to have a little bit of glitches here and there, but we pick up really fast as well. So before I go into the structure, I want to share with you guys my setup. So this is the picture that you can see over here is my setup. I normally share using my laptop. Okay, and I project it to a screen so that I can see 2 screens at once. One is my presentation screen, and one is the laptop that I then take my notes on. I have this light next to me, and I think like you guys saw earlier, how the light looks like switched off. You can't really see my expressions right now, and switched on. Okay, the lighting is really, really important because you want to make sure that your client sees your expressions very clearly as well. Okay, now I'll go into my e-appointment structure. So first of all, I go through my financial planning presentation. And this is exactly the same as what I used to do on pen and paper. So I used to do this in pen and paper. So this is the presentation that I used to do. So Joyce Chan 2018, this is my artwork. And previously I would be like kind of like scrambling, am I writing fast enough? And then like trying to like sync my hand with my mouth because I'm writing as I'm speaking. And right now I've digitized everything. So you can see Joyce Tran 2020, this art piece is now digitized, and I'm now able to use the same presentation over 100 times, 200 times, 1,000 times, right? And this is what works for me. Please, if you have your existing presentations, all you need to do is to put them onto a PowerPoint. and you can still have that like very interactive session with your clients when you use the annotate function in Zoom, because your clients can still, you know, draw on the presentation and you can still draw on the presentation as well. Okay. The next part of my presentation is that after I go through the financial planning overview, I will then go to the overview of my client's existing portfolios. So be it a new client or an existing client, I always ensure that I get at least sufficient information to put things together in a summary first. So I show my clients a detailed policy summary at this stage, and I assure them of where they have done well, but I'm also unafraid to highlight, you know, areas of concern. So over here, I want to show you guys this. So it looks something like that, but not entirely like that. So this is what I do for my clients. So they have their policy summarized in a one-page sheet, right? And then I tell them, you know, like I assure them of where they have done well in their coverage, like in the green parts. But, you know, things that they can improve on, I'll show them in orange. And things that I really think that they need to work on are in red. So, you know, back to this, you know, I really ask them for their areas of concern. But as a financial consultant, your job is to be unafraid to tell them that where they need to work on. And I think like this is super important, and this has definitely helped me to highlight key areas for my clients. Last but not least, after you go through their current portfolio, you can then reveal your analysis and solutions for them. So say if they don't have CI coverage, you can reveal the potential options for them. Is it a term? Is it a whole life? So on and so forth. So this is where I go through my client's analysis and their next steps on what they should be doing when it comes to insurance planning. And I'll go through possible options and quotes with them. And if they are comfortable, I'll then proceed to close. Okay. So that is a structure for you. So FOR, okay? And uh, in the interest of time, I'll very quickly like run through this. I want to share with you 3 key takeaways that I've learned from doing more than 50 e-appointments in 2020, right? I learned this the hard way, and I hope to share this with you guys so that you guys can learn this as quickly as possible. So the first thing is that, you know, our minds are the greatest barriers. And now that I'm doing e-appointments and I realize the productivity gains, I keep asking myself, why didn't I get started earlier? Now comfort is no longer an option, but what I want to share with you guys is that the experience is exactly the same as a physical appointment. And I'll show you guys a couple of testimonials after this, right? It's exactly the same. And actually, sometimes the only barrier is in our minds. For the more mature agents who have been in the business longer, I know that it's really tough to get out of the comfort zone, but what you can do to get started is to get your clients' children to help them get onto Zoom appointments. And with that, you can then touch base with their children as well. And this would be a really, really great experience for everybody. Okay. The next key takeaway is that every software is only a tool. So if you give me a hammer right now and ask me to, hammer down nails, my nails would probably be all crooked all over the place, right? And that is not the problem with the hammer. It's a problem with my mastery of the hammer. And it is really your mastery that matters when it comes to all these software. What you should really do is to go and experiment, go work on it, go form study groups, 3 or 4 people, and get onto calls with each other so that you can test all the features of the appointments, and that would really boost your confidence in it. So if I hammer my nails long enough, I'll figure out a way to hammer them straight down, right? And last but not least, user experience really matters. And I want you guys to create a seamless user experience for your clients. Don't assume that they know the software. In fact, when they first get on, do a really, really quick 5 minutes orientation of the software so that you can teach them where the features are, right? And this will make the entire e-appointment a lot more interactive. And you can use screen share, you can use annotate, you can use spotlight, right? This really helps them to prime positivity and openness to experience. So psychologically, what this means is that, when your client feels really good about the e-appointment and they realize that, wow, this is something new, they are a lot more open to what you have to share with regards to financial planning. So these are the 3 key takeaways. Okay, and this is the summary. So this is really a summary sheet for you guys to remember what I've shared, and I've summed it all up. Just remember, Pru cares for you. In times like these, you can see that Prudential really does care for us, holding this massive webinar just to ensure that we are on top of things. And in times like this, you can also use e-appointments to pass that love and to pass that care on. Okay. Before I end, I want to run through a couple of testimonials with you guys. This is true story, bro or sis. In this testimonial, my client actually like WhatsApp me to say that after the appointment, to say that he will probably get the life plan that I proposed to him. And what I want to share with this is that all appointments, it actually works exactly the same. Your appointment should follow your physical appointment